You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love was in ever again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. Derry Bennett, welcome. Michael Hassler, welcome. Wolf Glenn, welcome. Beery, welcome. Oh, there goes my camera again. Sorry, folks. We've been having issues with this camera. I'm honestly not even sure what's going on at this point. I thought I had it fixed. Okay. Whoop, whoop, indeed. We don't need those stinking camera. Read us the news, dang it. All right, let's do it. This is as good as that's gonna get. Let's just power through. Welcome, everybody. As for those of you that were able to stomach the address to Congress yesterday, I commend you. It couldn't be me. I was not able to stomach the full, the full rally, I guess, because it's not even like a political speech. It was just like basically another recycled, Trump rally, basically. Okay. Not much, new, stuff. Yeah, no, it was not a State of the Union. That is correct. It was a address to a joint session of Congress or whatever. Watch Daredevil instead. Nice. So yeah, basically it was just another Trump rally. Essentially, we didn't really learn much. Other like the only thing that sticks out to me, like besides like the nonsense that he was spewing, is the fact that he threatened war again, which I find pretty alarming, if I do say so myself. Just spewing lies. Yuck, indeed. So we'll actually, instead of really talking too much about the Trump speech, we'll just kind of go over the Bernie Sanders response, because I feel like that's more productive than listening to Trump drone on. Because honestly, like I could barely stand watching very few minutes of it. It's just like literally the same garbage over and over and over again. Recycled fascist rhetoric about immigrants, um, propping up a brain cancer survivor child as a political prop, um, and just lies, lies. I think like another thing to point out, just before we get started, just another thing, like he literally continues to lay down the groundwork as to why, as to how they're or why they're going to cut Social Security, right? Like he laid down the groundwork by saying there's so much fraud, which is BS, right? Like he was saying that people who are like 200 years old were getting benefits when that's not the case. It's he just made that up. He just made that up. He says that there's a lot of fraud in Social Security, um, and it's just not the case. Yeah, right after he cut cancer research funding and defrauded a cancer charity. Yeah, so that's nice. Sanders to pass the PRO Act to protect workers. I doubt that's going to get very far. Anything to protect workers is probably not going to get very far. All right, folks, let's get into it. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, keep liking the stream. If you're on YouTube, subscribe as well. Spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to support the channel directly, make sure you hit that exclamation mark merch to check out the merch store and exclamation mark tip. Subscribe to the Substack and join the Discord if you want to keep up with the channel. Mouselander, welcome. Let's get started, folks. So we're going to watch part of the Sanders response to the address.
Is through the concept of the big lie, and boy, did we hear that tonight. You say something that is grossly false, say it over and over again, and have right-wing social media blast it out endless times until people actually believe it.
Yeah, I mean, like Jesse Waters literally explained how this works, right? Like something gets picked up on Twitter, right? As an example, that gets elevated by Elon Musk, and that gets picked up by Joe Rogan, who, talks about it on his podcast to millions of people. That gets picked up by Fox News, and next thing you know, like tens of millions of people have gotten this talking point, right?
And then, rather than address the real issues facing the American people, the struggles
Welcome to the Trump shit show, indeed.
the American people are facing, we find ourselves wasting endless amounts of time discussing Trump's absurdities.
Yeah.
Let me just give you a very few examples. Trump claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him and that he won by a landslide. Remember that? A lie. Trump claimed that the January 6th insurrection was a day of love.
Right? This is like 1984 stuff, right? You know, war is peace, freedom is slavery. Yeah, okay. Heat, how's it going? Unable to stomach it is the perfect word for it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not I'm not going to subject people, okay? Especially if you somehow were able to watch it already like live. I'm not going to subject you to that twice. Much less once. Like I said, instead we're just gonna watch the Sanders response to it because I feel like it's probably more productive.
A lie. Trump has claimed that millions of undocumented people voted and do vote in American elections. A lie. Trump has claimed that climate change is a hoax originating in China. A lie. Trump has claimed that Ukraine started the...
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just so much freaking lies to keep track with. Like, I don't even know if, like, at this point, to try to like address each and every lie is like an exercise in futility, right? Because there's so much BS going on that it's on purpose, of course, because like you're too busy trying to debunk one lie when there are like two lies ahead of you. So yeah, I think the first part where they dragged Al Green out was worth it, possibly. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I wasn't expecting the Democrats to do anything, but certainly Al Green surprised me.
Horrific war with Russia, a lie. And tonight, just tonight, Trump claimed that millions of dead people between the ages of 100 and 360, I guess, were collecting Social Security checks. And that is an outrageous lie intended to lay the groundwork for cuts to Social Security and dismantling the most successful.
That's literally what I was just saying.
And popular government program in history. So let's be clear about that. Well over 99% of Social Security checks are going out to people who earned those checks. 70 million Americans. Nobody who was 150 years old or 200 years old or 300 years.
Yeah, like it's just BS, okay? It's just straight up bull, okay? Like that's not a thing. Okay? It's not a thing. The only part that was the only part worth watching, even if it was disappointing.
Years old is receiving Social Security checks. And on the lies go. Now, the purpose of all of this lying is not just to push his hateful right-wing ideology. It is not just to try to divide us up. It is more than that. It is a masterful effort, and you saw that tonight.
Yep.
To deflect attention away from the most important issues facing the people of our country. Issues that Trump and his billionaire friends do not want to address because it is not in their financial interest to do so.
I mean, like, that's kind of like the point, right? The reason why the term that I was looking for yesterday was culture war. The reason why these people push culture war crap is because they have to, right? The wealthy capital class has to push this because they can't have people start to look at them. I wish more would have stood up with him. Me too.
Trump gave his State of the Union speech tonight. But if you listen closely, that speech had very little to say about the State of the Union, about what is really going on in our country, especially for working families.
I mean, to be fair, it was technically not a State of the Union. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but technically it was not, right? It was a joint address to Congress, or was it? I don't know, whatever.
Trump
it's irrelevant.
spoke
I'm being picky.
for over 90 minutes, although I must confess it seemed a lot longer than that. And he almost completely ignored the issues that are keeping working people up at night as they worry about how their families are going to survive in these very tough times. And I will tell you exactly why Trump had very little to say about the real crises facing the working class of this country. Think back 6 weeks ago when Trump was inaugurated for his second term as president, just 6 weeks ago. Standing right behind...
Man, it's only been 6 weeks? Jesus Christ. It was a bunch of lies, so you can put lipstick on a pig all you want. Yep.
Behind them were the three wealthiest men in this country, Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg. And standing behind them were 13 other billionaires who Trump had nominated to head major government agencies. Many of these same billionaires, including Musk, were in the Capitol tonight listening to that speech.
Yep. Musk was there, and he even got a shout out. Yeah, not 6,000 weeks. Yeah, it certainly feels that way.
In other words, it is there for all to see. The Trump administration is not hiding it. The Trump administration is a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, and for the billionaire class.
True.
Notwithstanding some of their rhetoric, this is a government that could care less about ordinary Americans and the working families of our country.
True.
My friends, we are no longer moving toward oligarchy. We are living in an oligarchic society. Now let's take a moment
True.
and try to escape from Trump's parallel universe, the universe that you heard tonight. And let's do something really, really radical. Let's actually take a hard look at the problems that Americans are facing.
Billionaires are people too.
Today, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Unlike Trump, I grew up in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck, and I know something about that reality. It means that every day, millions of Americans worry about how they're going to pay their rent, pay for childcare, pay for a doctor's visit.
Right. And like, just to be clear, like anybody who still buys Trump's BS about like the economy or whatever, like he's literally doing, and the next video is kind of going to talk about that because I believe it too. He's literally doing everything possible to make the economy worse, right? So now what?
When they get sick, they worry about what happens when their car breaks down and they can't afford the $1,000 it costs to get it fixed, and what happens when they can't get to work because they don't have a car. They worry about how they can afford to buy healthy food for their kids when the price of food is off the charts. Funny? I heard Trump speaking for 90 minutes tonight. I didn't hear one word from him about the economic reality facing 60% of our people, or the enormous stress that they are living.
Yeah, what? A billionaire addressing the material conditions of the working class? What?
On the 90-minute speech, not one word about the economic reality facing American workers. But that's not all. Today in America, everyone knows that our healthcare system is broken. It is dysfunctional.
To the extent that it even exists.
And it is outrageously expensive. We remain the only wealthy nation on earth not to guarantee health care for all. Mr. President, you really want to make America great again? Then make sure that every American, regardless of income, can go to a doctor or a hospital and not worry about how they're going to pay the bills. President Trump, health care is a human right. I didn't hear one word from you, not one word. Over 90-minute speech, not one word from you about the health care crisis that is impacting many, many millions of us.
Yep, Bernie's going to get disappeared if he keeps this up. A bit of gruel goes a long way. Mouselander, he wants to buy the remnants of the U.S. like Gaza. Dystopian, we're back to the Gilded Age. True. Yeah, 90 minutes. Yep, 90 minutes. I don't know how far I got because it felt like so long that I just like, I was like, you know what? I've heard this speech before. And I swear, like, if I'm going to sit here for 90 minutes, I'm going to freaking lose it. So, yeah, I just called it.
People. Nor did I hear you say why we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, sometimes 10 times more than the people in other countries, and why 1 out of 4 Americans are unable to afford the prescriptions their doctors prescribe. Not one word about the outrageously high cost of prescription drugs. Mr. President, we have nearly 800,000 Americans who are homeless. Over 20 million of our people spend more than half of their limited income on housing. We have a major housing crisis in America. Everyone knows it, apparently, except you. Because in your speech tonight, I didn't hear you mention the housing crisis. Today in America.
Well, you know, like he's not. He just doesn't care. Like, let's keep it 100. He doesn't care. I think I threw up in my mouth after 7 minutes. Carpetbags, welcome. Howdy.
We have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had. 3 richest people in America. The folks Trump invited to stand behind him at his inauguration now own more wealth than the bottom half of our society, 170 million Americans. Did anyone out there hear one word from the President of the United States on that enormously important issue, which gets to the very fabric of our society? So few owning so much while so many people suffer. And here's something else the President forgot to discuss. Not only is our life expectancy 4 years lower than other wealthy countries, the bottom 50% in this country, the working class of America, on average, live 7 years shorter lives than the top 1%.
Yep. Cosmopolitics rating in. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome, Fancy Philippe. Welcome, folks. If you have not seen me before, we are A Difficult Truth. We do the news, we do the politics. We're here Monday through Thursday around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you enjoy your stay here, folks, don't forget to hit the follow button. It really does help us out. Huge shout out to Cosmopolitics. Thank you so much for bringing your wonderful community. If you haven't done so already, please go show some support to Cosmopolitics. Okay, fantastic streamer. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you bringing your community.
Got that? In other words, being poor or working class in this country today is a death sentence. Did you hear any discussion tonight as to why so many of our people are living shorter lives than they should? During his speech tonight,
No, because we basically have Lord Farquaad leading the freaking country.
Trump did not have one word to say
Some of you may
about
die.
how we are going to address the planetary crisis of climate change. The last 10 years, as most Americans know, have been the warmest ever recorded, and extreme weather disturbances and natural disasters have been taking place all over the world, from California to India, across Europe to North Carolina. And yet, not surprisingly, Trump had nothing to say about climate change except, I guess, drill, baby, drill. Well, that's going to help a whole lot.
That is the price I'm willing to pay. Literally, we're being led by Lord Farquaad.
And let's be clear, not only did Trump fail to talk about some of the most important issues facing the working class of America, but the solutions, in quote, he proposed would only make a bad situation even worse. Yep, I did hear Trump talk tonight about some tax breaks for working families in terms of not taxing tips, not taxing Social Security, and not taxing overtime. Fine. But that is chump change compared to the benefits he's going to give to the 1%, and it doesn't tell the whole story about his tax policies. According to a recent study by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, if all of Trump's so-called America First policies are enacted, including his tariffs, which he spoke a lot about tonight, the bottom 95% of Americans will see their taxes go up, while the richest 5% in our country will see their taxes go down, way down. Tonight, in so many words, Trump urged Congress to pass his big, beautiful budget. Do you know what's really in it? This budget would cut Medicaid by $880 billion. Oh, I guess Trump forgot to talk about that. $880 billion cut in Medicaid. According to one estimate, it means that up to 36 million Americans, including millions of children, would be thrown off the health insurance they have. Hey, a 90-minute speech tonight, not one word about throwing millions of kids off of the health insurance they have.
We could have had Bernie, but not really. The same people who voted for Hillary and Biden didn't turn out to vote in the general election. We don't deserve Bernie. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I think that there is a point to be made about the turnout.
When you cut Medicaid drastically, it means that nursing homes that receive 2/3 of their funding from Medicaid will either have to shut down, lay off workers, or significantly scale back the services they provide seniors. Gee, I didn't hear that from Trump tonight either. It would be a devastating blow, these cuts to Medicaid. For the 32 million...
We do deserve Bernie. We just haven't earned Bernie. I kind of agree. I mean, like to me, it's like, look, we kind of made our bed, like collectively as a country. Okay, listen, collectively as a country, we put the quarter in the jukebox. Okay, so we all freaking have to dance. But that's just kind of how I feel about the thing. Hillary lost because people in Philly, Detroit, and Milwaukee didn't turn out to vote. Yeah, but like there's a reason why they didn't turn out to vote, right?
Million Americans who get their health care at community health centers. And it's not just Medicaid that Trump's budget would cut. It would also cut nutrition assistance by at least $230 billion. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment. And can you imagine? The billionaire class, people who can support their families, some of these guys have tens of billions of dollars, support their families for the next 10 generations, 50 generations.
Unlimited money, man.
People who live in incredible opulence. People who own their own jet planes, they own their own private islands, they own their own spaceships.
Everything, man.
Trying to get tax breaks by taking food out of the mouths of low-income kids. That truly is disgusting. What we are seeing is the Robin Hood principle in reverse. Taking from the poor and giving to the rich and the very, very rich.
Yep, because they want it all, man. They want it all. It's dragon sickness. It's freaking dragon sickness. The Dems are fragmented and scattered. The Dem elites, and the Dem elites don't fight for the people except Bernie.
And here is something else Trump has been doing. For the past several weeks, he and his good friend Elon Musk, who was up there in the audience tonight, have been throwing hundreds of thousands of federal employees off their jobs. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, that's too bad, but that's the federal government, not me, it's not me, it's just those guys who work for the federal government. But I want you to think about this. Think about it for a moment. If Musk and his friends can arbitrarily throw federal workers out on the street today, what do you think that Musk and his fellow billionaires will be doing tomorrow when artificial intelligence and robotics explode in this country? Do you think?
Moanab, welcome. Pelosi net worth is like 300 million. Yeah, dude. Okay, we know. Thank you.
They'll give a damn about you and your families? No, they will treat you exactly the way they're treating federal employees today. You will be out on the street as well.
BCAT, welcome. Hey, YouTube crew, welcome.
But it is not only absurd domestic policies that we've got to fight. For the first time in our 250-year history, we have a president who is turning his back on democracy.
Bad lefty, welcome.
And aligning us with authoritarianism. No, we must not abandon the people of Ukraine who were invaded by the Russian dictator Vladimir Putin. We must always stand for democracy, not dictatorship. let me be very clear. Regardless of where Trump is taking this country, here's what I think and what I believe the American people want us to do. They want us to end a corrupt campaign finance system. Well, golly gee, I didn't hear Mr. Trump talk about that tonight. A corrupt campaign finance system which
Sirius, welcome.
allows a handful of billionaires to buy elections.
Yep.
It is beyond crazy that someone like Elon Musk can contribute over $270 million to help get Trump elected, and then he gets to run the government. It is absurd that any member of Congress who stands up to net
Like, what an insane return on investment, right? Like, just a couple $100 million gets you access to, like, the entire treasury, okay? And now potentially billions of dollars with Starlink contracts. Nice. Good for Gabby. Wow, we got the whole YouTube crew here.
Netanyahu's brutal war in Gaza can expect to be opposed by millions of dollars in campaign contributions coming from AIPAC. The American people want us to end this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court
Ladybug,
decision
welcome.
and move to the public funding of elections. Democracy is supposed to be about one person, one vote, not billionaires buying the political candidates of their choice. And further, no, we should not be giving tax breaks to billionaires. That's not what we should be doing. We must demand that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes. We must raise the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour to a living wage of at least $17 an hour. We must make it easier for workers to join trade unions, grow the union movement, and prevent corporations from violating labor laws with impunity by
I need to post the link sooner. Surf's chat hauled butt out of the chat. Gabby is the one that recommended me to you. Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that. It didn't help that Looney sent everyone somewhere else. It's okay.
passing the PRO Act, legislation that I will be introducing tomorrow. No, we are not going to
Oh,
cut.
that's what Derry Bennett was talking about. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't expect the PRO Act to go anywhere at all. Anything that would be like pro-labor is gonna get freaking torpedoed.
Social Security. Quite the contrary. We must expand Social Security benefits and extend its solvency for the next 75 years by scrapping the cap that allows a billionaire to pay the same amount into Social Security as a truck driver. Too many of our seniors are hurting today for us to be talking about cutting Social Security. Over 20% seniors in this country living on $15,000 a year or less. Further, instead of making massive cuts to Medicaid, we must join every other major country in guaranteeing health care to all of our people through a Medicare for All single-payer program. We must also take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry, get them to charge us what they charge other countries, reducing prescription drug prices by 50%. And at a time of a terrible housing crisis in Vermont and in every area of our country, we must build at least 4 million units of low-income and affordable housing, stop corporate landlords from jacking up rent prices, and establish a cap on rent. In a competitive global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world. All of our young people must have the ability to get a higher education by making public colleges, trade schools, and universities tuition-free and canceling student debt.
I follow on Twitch, but I wasn't subbed on YouTube. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bernie 2028. Help us, Bernie Sanders. Your only hope. There's people in YouTube chat today. Yeah, we got a whole YouTube crew going on.
Yes, we can create millions of good-paying jobs by combating.
We have a phenomenal audience. A phenomenal audience here. on Twitch, and recently we've had a small but awesome group on YouTube.
Climate change and moving our energy system away from fossil fuels and into sustainable energy. You know, I heard a lot of talk about freedom tonight from Mr. Trump.
Due to chat,
Well,
thank you so much. Welcome,
in a free
welcome.
society, we must absolutely guarantee that it is the women of America who control their own bodies, not the local, state, or federal government.
I'm trying to build up the chat. Well, thank you.
Now, I know, because I've heard from many of you, that there are a lot of people out there who are feeling angry and frustrated at what's going on here in Washington, D.C. And some of you may feel a bit
Yeah,
hopeless.
don't forget to boop.
So let me say this.
The
At
like
this
button.
particular moment in history, despair is not an option. Giving up is not acceptable. And none of us have the privilege of hiding under the covers. The stakes are just too high. Let us never forget, real change only occurs.
Thank you to the 5 subs on YouTube. Thank you so much. Look at that. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Welcome. Pass the PRO Act, indeed. Bernie Sanders does get it. Bernie Sanders does get it.
When ordinary people stand up by the millions against oppression and injustice and fight back. That
Yes.
is the history of the founding of our nation, when brave men and women took on the mighty, invincible British Empire. It is the history of the abolitionist movement, the history of the labor movement,
True.
the history of the civil rights movement, the women's movement, the environmental movement, and the gay rights movement.
Yep. So another way of saying this is direct action gets the goods. Heat with the 100 biddies. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Community organizer. Indeed. Indeed, indeed. Thank you.
Yes, I know. The oligarchs are enormously powerful. I deal with them every day. I know that. Yes, they have endless amounts of money. Yes, they control our economy, and they own much of the media.
But remember, nothing happens without workers, right? Like at the end of the day, nothing happens without workers. I wonder who Bernie would have picked for VP. Yeah, that's a good question. You know, this kind of reminds me of a movie that I watched a lot in my childhood. And, you know, as a little kid,
There was that.
as a little kid, of course, it didn't quite click. But, you know, they're close to fixing that with robots and AI.
There was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant. One ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss, they're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant.
You think humans will retain the upper hand through withholding labor only matters until robots can reproduce themselves? Ha. No, I mean, I don't think that's, you know, right now that's not a concern. A Bug's Life. Yep.
Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
I'm just me. Best clip, great movie.
How
Yep.
about this?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Just saying.
They have enormous influence over our political system. But from the bottom of my heart, I am convinced that they can be beaten. If we stand together and not let them divide us up by the color of our skin or where we were born or our religion or the language we speak or our sexual orientation. If we bring our people together around an agenda that works for the many and not just the few, there is nothing in the world that can stop us. We can win. We will win.
We must.
Let us go forward together. Thank you all very much.
Do you hear this, people singing the song of angry men? Ants are amazing. Yeah, but we ants can lift over 300 times our weight. It is the music of people who will not be slaves again. Earlier we talked about the economy, and I made a comment saying that I think they're doing this on purpose, right? Like, they're taking every single action to tank this economy. They literally are taking every possible action to tank this economy, and it's on purpose. It's on purpose because the wealthy people benefit from an economic downturn, right? If the economy crashes, if the economy goes into a recession or depression, rich people will still be okay. They'll be less wealthy, right? But they'll be the ones who are going to be able to purchase things cheap, pennies on the dollar, right? Meanwhile, the already, stretched thin working class will not have that ability. Thank you, Bernie. When? It's coming. Yeah, it's wealthy, still not starving.
The United States has been taken advantage of for 40 years. The United States has been a laughingstock for years and years. That's why this gentleman is built in Taiwan instead of building here. It would have been better if he built here. If we had a president that knew what they were doing, and we had a lot of them very bad on trade.
He's imposing a 25% tariff.
Oh, yeah, less wealthy, still not starving. Yeah, I mean, like, exactly. So if you have someone like, say, an Elon Musk that's like $400 billion, the economy goes completely kaput. He'll be worth like, what, $100 billion? Oh, no. Pizza does sound delicious. Y'all gotta stop this food talk, okay? We gotta make... we got another hour. We got another hour or so.
Mexico, Canada, an extra 10% from China.
And I'm already
look
hungry.
At the reaction on the big board today, all right?
I'm already hungry, chat.
So the Dow at the moment is down 1.4%. You add that to yesterday, and you're about 2.8% off in 2 days of trading. The NASDAQ is down even more. It's about 3.6% overall in just 2 days now. Now, Trump is saying there's no room left for negotiation. This is a deal that is set. The market starting today in the red. Sharp sell-off yesterday, Dana, as I just mentioned there. Wow.
Line go down.
And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that big picture, the president's plans will turbocharge the economy and help improve the lives of everyday Americans.
Yeah. So now, okay,
Well-
just to be clear, like as of right now, it is possible that tomorrow we may wake up to a different story, okay? Because it turns out that like if you crash the economy, okay, and you create a critical mass of people with nothing to lose, then that may not be in your best interest. However, I don't know. Trump doesn't operate on rationale, so I don't know. The secretary, I forget what the guy's name is, whoever, the spokesperson, whatever, someone made the comment of Trump potentially reversing on some of these tariffs. For example, he cut out some exceptions for the automotive industry, which will get a month extra. But I don't know. This seems... We're not dealing with a very rational actor, so I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. At the same time, McDonald's, I got a sweet tea, and as I was slurping the last sip, I felt something pop into my mouth. Oh no! Jesus, what McDonald's are you going to that you're getting these horror stories? My goodness.
Oh, the madman
Hey, Cognizant.
finally did it. Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canada and Mexico, as well as additional tariffs on China, and the markets reacted immediately to the news by plummeting, which should be grounds for impeachment by his own standards, because back in 2012, he tweeted, if the Dow drops 1,000 points in 2 days, the president should be impeached immediately. He said it, not me, so somebody in Congress should get the ball rolling on that stat.
No, yeah, I'm sure. These people have no principles, right? Like, we literally saw it last night, how Al Green gets removed for breaking decorum, but Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert with their shenanigans, they get to be okay. Canada's putting, bipedal meatbag, welcome. Canada's putting tariffs on electricity that supplies New York, Minnesota, and Michigan. Phenomenal. I don't go to that McDonald's anymore. No kidding. I wouldn't either. Jesus. I don't eat McDonald's anymore, but if I did, I wouldn't in New Jersey. That means Trump needs to be impeached again. True.
But as you saw, even Fox News couldn't really spin this because there's no way to spin something that's undeniably bad for working class people. The best that they can offer is some bullshit promise from the Treasury Secretary that one day this is going to turbocharge the economy, which is a circuitous way of saying that Americans
Thank you for the YouTube sub. Appreciate
are
it.
going to suffer a lot in the short term. And that they will, because for starters, the cost of groceries is going to go up since we import a lot of agricultural goods from both Canada and...
Yeah, and just to be clear, like the carve-out exceptions that were just made for the automotive industry is not going to stop the rest of these tariffs that are going to, assuming that they continue, right? That they're going to make everything expensive. And it's going to get really, really freaking rough. And they're doing this on purpose. Third time's a charm.
Mexico, fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy. It's a lot. Not to mention the cost of cars, the cost of electronics, some clothing brands like Nike and Levi's, gas,
Yeah, so I guess I should just start like dropping dropping all the money now before the tariffs hit, right? Seriously, folks, this is not financial advice, but like, maybe I would say for those that can, and wherever you can, to start saving money, okay? To start saving money, because it looks pretty freaking rough, folks. So this is not official financial advice, but if you can and wherever you can, try to save as much money. And if there's something that you really, really need, and it's going to be tariffed, then it's going to be cheaper now. Impeachment isn't going to happen as long as the GOP is in charge of the House. My groceries are 82% American free, but they're still expensive. Al Green said he's working on impeaching Trump in addition to his recent protest. I mean, screw it. Look, freaking, I don't expect them to actually, for Congress to do their job as long as it's under Republican control. But you know what? Screw it. Bring articles of impeachment as often as you can. Be disruptive, right? Let me get some of that YouTube party. There you go. Join. There you go. Join in. Haagen-Dazs. Oof. Okay, anyways, I'm going to pretend I didn't see that comment, and we're moving on.
Plastic-based products, oils, minerals, construction materials such as lumber, metal, steel, aluminum. It's all going to go up in price, and aluminum in particular is going to affect the cost of everything from housing to soda cans. So virtually everything is going to get...
now hold on. I draw the line at soda. Listen, they're going to freaking make my sugar-free soda more expensive? This is a travesty, okay?
More expensive for this bullshit tariff stuff. But this is just the base price increase that we can expect, because we haven't even factored in the retaliatory tariffs, which will make the cost of goods go up even higher. And unfortunately for all of us, Canadian Prime Minister expectedly announced retaliatory tariffs immediately after Donald Trump's tariffs went into effect, and Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, also announced tariffs from their province, and he politely let us know that Canada, contrary to popular belief, does have us by the balls.
Yep. Don't forget to like the video. It does help. It really does. Okay, and I appreciate you guys doing that, and I appreciate you guys continuing to sub to the YouTube. I thank you guys. We need to switch to water anyways. True. True.
The United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest partner and ally, their closest friend. At the same time, they're talking about working positively with Russia, appeasing Vladimir Putin, a lying, murderous dictator. Make that make sense.
It doesn't.
The U.S. tariffs came into effect in the early hours of this morning, and so did the Canadian response. Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal, but Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do.
I don't start a tariff war, but we're going to win this tariff war. Right off the hop, I've directed the LCBO, we're the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world, to remove every bit of U.S. alcohol off the shelves.
Imagine being so bad you make Justin Trudeau look good.
I know my good friend,
YouTube video like. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Governor of Kentucky, he's losing his mind right now. I said, you better talk to your president. Mitch McConnell, senior senator from Kentucky.
15 likes. Nice. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
They're losing their mind. We purchased over $1 billion of alcohol, 3,600 products, 35 states. It's going to hit them. We call them the kitchen table issues.
Smart
then
as a
we're going
fart.
to cancel Starlinks right away from Elon Musk. Not that $100 million makes a difference for them, but it's principle. I've directed the procurement of over $30 billion of goods, not to go to the U.S., to make sure we buy Ontario first. And if we can't find it in Ontario and we can't build it in Ontario, we go across the country. We have 51 tariff-free agreements with countries around the world. We're going to diversify our trade. If they want to try to annihilate Ontario, I will do everything, including cut off their energy, with a smile on my face.
Yeah, so we're officially entering the find out phase after fucking around.
And we're finding out collectively. Like, that's the problem here. You know what I mean? Like, if this only affected, like, Trump supporters and, like, whatever, you know, you made your bed and now you have to lie in it. But, like, Doug got any more cocaine forward, but he sounds strong here. Yep. I mean, like, the guy is a piece of work, but he's correct here.
As Trudeau pointed out, all of this is so dumb. We are needlessly punishing our own allies for no reason while simultaneously cozying up to our enemies like Vladimir Putin after he invaded another fucking country. I mean, it's unparalleled stupidity that can't even be justified by Fox News. And on the subject of Donald Trump punishing allies and rewarding enemies.
Right, but like, it's not because like we are rational people and we see this as a very bad and hurtful move that's going to hurt the country as a whole. However, they don't see it that way. Does that make sense? Because the only way that this makes sense is that they're doing this on purpose so that their rich assholes, rich asshole buddies are able to scoop up the freaking remains, right? For pennies on the dollar. That's what this is about. It makes so much sense, and it is actually a smart move to just artificially crash the economy, because all this is BS anyways, and have their rich buddies scoop up the pieces. That's what this is about. It's not even like, it's nothing more than that. You have to be an idiot to fight a trade war on two fronts. Only heir to the throne of the kingdom of idiots fights a trade war on 12 fronts. Right, because this is not a trade war that's meant to be won. It's a trade war meant to destroy the American economy. Right? To the benefit of these rich people.
I just love how the MAGA cultists enjoyed watching Donald Trump and JD Vance beat their chests and berate Zelensky as if he chose to get invaded by Russia. Yet when it comes to other world leaders like Benjamin Netanyahu, all of that bravado goes out the window. In fact, here's supposed tough guy Donald Trump pushing in the chair for Benjamin Netanyahu, a war criminal wanted by the International Criminal Court, by the way. I wonder how his cultists feel about this submissive cuck behavior. I bet that
it doesn't matter, man. These people excuse everything. Like how Dems lost to a twice impeached 34-time felon. Twice. I know. Yes. It's actually phenomenal how that happened. No one voted for Musk.
he would do the same thing to Vladimir Putin and even lick his boots if he asked him to. The fact that a single American voted for this fucking imbecile is a disgrace. It is an international embarrassment, and that shame will follow the people who voted for him around for the rest of their lives, which will gradually get worse thanks to the actions of this administration. And things will get worse, to be clear, because Canada isn't the only country imposing retaliatory tariffs, since all three of our victims are expectedly striking back.
So Mike is great. Referee 2025. Hey, thank you and welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Chinese retaliated, filing suit with the World Trade Organization and slapping a 15% tariff on U.S. chicken, wheat, corn, and cotton, adding a 10% tariff on other U.S. foods imported into China, like soybeans. Canada also firing back, imposing 20%.
Are they going to make chicken more expensive?
25% tariffs on $20 billion of U.S. imports, with that number going up to $100 billion of U.S. imports under 25% tariff in 21 days. Mexico will announce Sunday what retaliation tariffs they will impose.
And you know it pains Fox News to admit that, but it's true. The cost of goods is going to increase a lot. But we still haven't even reached the ceiling yet, because Donald Trump announced even more tariffs on Canada for retaliating. We started this, and then Canada responded, and Trump is basically saying, well, since you responded, we're going to respond again, which will obviously prompt another response by Canada. But he wrote this on...
Like, there's no winning this, right? Like, the only people who win are the rich people. Mike provided the last on Leftist Mafia. Leftist Mafia is freaking awesome. I highly recommend if you haven't seen Leftist Mafia with Mike Figueroa, Dave Dole, the Surfs, Lance from the Surfs, and there's a couple of people that are in the Leftist Mafia. Ariana sometimes comes on. Rebecca Azor. Yeah, there's a couple of people that come on. Those poor chickens on that long boat ride to China. Yep. Chickens in this economy? Is America great? Is America great yet? And we're getting, hell yeah, brother. Grow that doggone class consciousness. Yes. Bender. Oh, I forgot about old Matt. I forgot about old Matt. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Leftist Mafia, you gotta check it out. Which live do you watch when Leftist Mafia is on? Usually, I get pinged on the Rational National. So if I see it, usually I'll click that link or on Twitch. The Surfs, I follow the Surfs on Twitch. So sometimes I'll catch them there on Twitch if I'm using the app. Growing the class consciousness is the only way. Relax your mind. It's the only way. It's the only way. Everyone here together is how we do this. Okay?
Truth Social, please explain to Governor Trudeau of Canada that when he puts on retaliatory...
Honestly, like, I didn't think about that. I didn't, I should have, like, watched the speech with Leftist Mafia, because that would have, that probably would have been more tolerable, than just, like, straight up watching it. So that was my mistake. That's where I went wrong. Hey, it's BCat on YouTube. Hey. Oh, you're Bernie Barbie. Okay, gotcha. Well, awesome. Yeah, just encourage everyone around you to open their eyes. Yep, Rational National was OG spot to go. Now it seems like Bender's chat. Once they push Canada to turn off the power to NYC, Wall Street big boys will force a major rethink on keeping tariffs on Canada. Maybe. I don't know. I live in Connecticut. If I make some signs and just start hanging out on the street corner, would I get arrested, or is that free speech? I was watching there, but I still started feeling queasy still. Yeah, I made the mistake of just watching it like from the first news outlet that I saw. I think it was the AP. I think it was the AP is the first thing that I came across. But yeah, look at them burning them, calling them governor too. Yeah, nice one, dude. This is Mike's chat, Ariana's chat, Lance's chat, and Becca's chat. That's like snorting laundry detergent straight. It was not fun. Okay, it was not fun, and I tapped out pretty early.
United States, our reciprocal tariff will immediately increase by a like amount.
I mean, you saw I jumped into the Rational Nationals Discord for a second there just to get a feel of how people were feeling.
And
man.
He made this tweet while the stock market was plummeting. So sky's the limit in terms of how expensive things are going to get for all of us, because this is only the beginning of what is likely going to be a long and grueling trade war that's happening for no fucking reason. And as Dean Baker explained in A Piece for Common Dreams, this is effectively going to amount in a $3,000 sales tax per year on American consumers. Not to mention, if he actually passes the $4.5 trillion in tax cuts for the rich.
We are demoralized. Yep, but like honestly, it's not. We need to take that energy, right? That energy of despair, that energy of just being distraught, beaten down, exhausted, angry, and we need to channel that because we need that. We need everybody, okay? We need everybody to stay and to stay in this fight. Twitch chat better or YouTube chat? Oh no, we're not doing this war, okay? We're not having this war. I want the old tax schedule back. I had to pay $2K more this year. Jesus Christ, Sharpie Diesel. Welcome, by the way. Yeah, why not both?
Which that he wants.
That's why I have my little robot here, my little chat bot here, relaying the messages so everybody can see everyone's messages. Look at that. Leftist Mafia is 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays. Yeah, incidentally, a couple of hours right after my stream.
Taxes are going to go up
Or
for
an hour and a
normal
half.
people by more than $1,200 on average. This is according to an estimate from the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. But this is our fate. We're all doomed to suffer now because a bunch of dumbfuck Americans believed him when he said that he'd bring down the cost of eggs. But newsflash, that's not going to happen either. In fact, Trump's Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins admitted as much. And
I'm so freaking like infuriated by this kind of like not like how did people fall for this? And by the way, it's not like it's not like this was a secret, right? It's not like this was a secret. He's been talking about tariffs for decades, like even before he even dreamed of running for president. Like there's clips of him in the 80s saying like tariffs are a good idea when like inherently it's just like it's an inflationary policy. We literally had a period, right? With what was that? The Tariff Act. The Tariff Act. Oh God, it of 19 whatever. Oh God, I'm gonna have to like look this up. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act that literally like careened the economy off the cliff, right? I mean, hello. Twitch chat moderation is next level. YouTube should be embarrassed. Twitch chat moderation is a lot easier, let me tell you. Let me tell you, folks. Wolfglen, welcome. I have to tell you, but the average American is stupid and just want treats. Well, now we're not even getting treats. The treats have been taken away. Smoot-Hawley famously learned in Ferris Bueller. Yes, that's it. That's right. It was in Ferris Bueller's Days Off. That's right. What would your sign say? 1 second. I got... What's a punchy way to convey my message of rain? Look, you don't have to get fancy. It just has to be true. Okay. This one is mine. And, yeah. The sign is too big for the little circle. Yeah, I had to go to the normal camera for that one. I have the best treats. No one does treats better than me. Work my whole life for the treats. All I have is a garage full of stuff, and I'm still trying to buy the treats.
She explained that it might actually be a good idea to buy a chicken, literally to buy a chicken and get the eggs directly from the chicken.
So I'm looking at this.
Oh my God. I actually haven't seen this clip. I've seen people talk about this clip, but this is just so freaking unfreaking believable, right? This is just so freaking absurd. Yeah, dude, just grow your own, just raise your own chickens, right? Hey, real quick, what for anyone who rents, right? For anyone who rents, okay? For anyone who is in an HOA, and for anyone who literally lives in a city, right? Because there are regulations that don't allow you to do this. What are those people gonna do? One chicken isn't gonna make that many eggs. Yep. You don't know nothing. I just bought 450 of imported licorice and 160 of German Haribo. Good thing bird flu is not a thing. Yep. Good thing bird flu is not a thing. True. I know Loon's YouTube could overtake Twitch if they put an ounce of effort into user-friendly chat layouts and moving emotes. Oh, I mean, yeah, with YouTube's freaking discoverability, yeah. Whenever YouTube decides to be serious, yeah, it's GG. Lives in a neighborhood with goats, chickens, and pigs nearby. Nice. My sister and her friend moved into my house so they could have chickens. The chickens can just use the cat box like my cat does. Now we get eggs as of January. Nice. Yeah, not everyone can. I mean, I have an untouched dozen of eggs in my fridge. Be jealous. Oof. That's gold. That's gold.
The cost of eggs is expected to go up 40%.
Listen, there is no short-term fix.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
Yeah,
I
we know.
wish I could, snap my fingers and go to the grocery store, Rachel, and your eggs are back down to $2 a dozen. I think the silver lining in all of this is how do we, in our backyards, we've got chickens too in our backyard. How do we solve for something like this? And
Yeah, exactly. We have the occasional wild turkey. There's actually wild turkey around here, but yeah, my maggot sister told me to raise chickens too. I'm sorry for your loss. Your own chickens can't get the bird flu. The damn pigeons in New Jersey had bird flu. They're advising people to take off their shoes at home or different shoes for the yard if they have pets. Yep. But seriously, turkeys are cute. They are. I've seen a couple around here. They're chill. They're chill.
And people are sort of looking around thinking, wow, well, maybe I could get a chicken in my backyard.
No!
And it's awesome. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think everyone who isn't a farmer right now wants to be.
You hear that? It's time to be a farmer, folks. So put on your overalls and get a chicken. It's almost like it would be funny if it wasn't so sad. These people have no idea what the average day-to-day experience is like for normal Americans. Do they honestly expect people to raise chickens? Where are you going to put the fucking chicken? In your apartment? Are you going to let it shit everywhere while you go to work? It's so dumb.
Bird flu is spreading to domestic animals. Even if you have cats or dogs that go outside, watch them closely. Yep. Chubby Puppy Bear, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. We have cranes walking around in Madison, Wisconsin. Nice.
And this solution is being recommended, especially at a time when bird flu is running rampant throughout the country. And while there's a blackout on health communications from the federal government, it's just a circus, it makes my head almost explode because of the fucking stupidity of the people in charge.
It's freaking beyond, man. This is ghoulish. Can't afford eggs. Just get a chicken. Can't send your school to school. Can't send your school. Can't send your school. Can't send your kids to school safely. Homeschool them. Can't get pure food and drugs. Just make them all yourself. Yep, true. Wait, I have animal viruses always jump to humans this easily? This feels like a new thing. No, not really. It really depends, right? It really depends. That's an idiotic idea that ignores the systemic root of the problem, but also I'm going to buy planters and try to grow tomatoes on my balcony. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you trying to like grow a couple things, right? Like we are definitely trying to grow stuff, right? And to an extent, we have like, you know, a couple things. We got herbs, we got peppers, we got a citrus tree, but like that's not going to feed us, right? If you make less than $50K a year, never listen to on-air millionaires for advice about anything. True. Ground level news. My DMs are open for anyone who wants to learn how to grow food in any space. Nice. That's actually pretty freaking awesome. Ground level news. Do you still do you stream? If you do, like, feel free to let us know. We can shout you out. I can't remember.
But on a
I haven't in a while, but I'm going to get back into it. Well, sure. If yeah. Yeah, there you go. Go show some support to Ground Level News.
Note, just step back for a moment and think about all the things that's happening right now. Aside from the imposition of tariffs on allies, Donald Trump is deregulating at a fast pace. He's cutting even more revenue to the federal government through tax cuts for the rich. He's imposing austerity on working class people. And it's gotten so bad that economists are starting to worry about all of this leading to a fucking recession. And the Atlanta Fed is just straight up predicting one at this point. And as Saikat Chakrabarti points out, combine this with gutting the federal government, cutting Medicaid, disabling Social Security by firing half its workforce.
I want 2 turkeys. I'll name them Thanksgiving and Christmas. Imagine having pet chickens that you're going to eat one day. It couldn't be me. They'll be like egg-laying chickens.
Destroying manufacturing and mass deportations. And I think we're looking at something well beyond the Great Recession and approaching the Great Depression.
Cool,
on top
man.
of this, Elon and Trump are against printing money. So I don't see us doing the kind of stimulus needed to get out of it. And as this Twitter user put it, if I wanted to crash the economy, I think I'd put on indiscriminate tariffs, push cheap labor out of our country, slash public jobs, cut public spending, promote an alternative to the dollar, and incentivize every global ally look to partner with China. Exactly. We're not even just talking about gross incompetence here. It's almost like he's trying to crash the economy, which sounds absurd. But if you realize that there's a lot that could be gained from him and rich oligarchs if the economy crashes, then it kind of makes sense.
Bingo,
Saikat argues, it really is confusing why Trump would want to intentionally massively shrink the U.S. economy. None of this is due to external circumstances. He is manufacturing a recession. But it makes sense when you realize his goal is to create something like Russia, where the economy is run by a few oligarchs loyal to him. Creating that state is hard in a large, dynamic, powerful economy with too many actors who can oppose him. So he's accelerating, concentrating money and power into the hands of his loyalists while he crashes the rest out. So it's plausible that he might literally be trying to crash the economy to consolidate power. And when you think about it in that context and the ulterior motives that he might have as an oligarch himself, it makes sense in that context. But Crystal Ball...
So like this is like kind of like the capital class understanding that understanding the lesson from 2008 and the COVID crash, right? Like, you know, instead of us just kind of waiting for a crash to kind of scoop everything up, pennies on the dollar, why don't we just like make the crash and just like make out like bandits, right? Make off with the cash like bandits. So, that's kind of like, I know I'm very like oversimplifying it, but like it kind of makes sense when you look at it from that lens. Instead of just like them waiting for the next economic crash, why not just like, I don't know, make one? I'll still become too attached and they will die of old age. Class consciousness tends to grow when quality of life deteriorates, but only if the population is informed enough to understand what is happening. Yep. And if Trump goes too far, I can see him getting removed by the GOP via the 25th Amendment. And that's a pretty big if. He'll go into a recession worth billions. He left in 2020 worth millions. His cabinet is all rich. Yeah, that's kind of... Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point because, like, you know, you would think that, like, rationally, someone crashing the economy would get them removed, right? But I don't know. Nothing makes sense anymore except the rich want to get richer, and this administration is working towards consolidating power.
To Shaikat's theory and added some additional thoughts about Elon Musk and his role in this and how he might benefit from an economic crash.
I would say that at this point, until proven otherwise, the primary actor in the government and in the economy is actually Elon. So I think it makes sense to think in terms of Elon's incentives here and what he may actually want to accomplish. And if you think back at the last economic crashes, both in COVID and in the 2008 financial crash, while initially everyone suffered, including the rich.
Yeah, like, that's exactly what I was saying. That's literally exactly. By the way, just to be clear, I did not see this clip from Crystal Ball, but, like, that's literally exactly it. Not if you short stocks first. Please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Exactly. Thank you. It really does. By the way, it really does help us out. Still got the Twitter bird logo. Yeah, I need to replace it with a blue sky logo. It's all. By the way, like, all social media, is the same. It's just a difficult truth. If Trump has an economist working with him, they are LARPing if they're saying good things.
Out of both, the rich were able to buy up assets on the cheap and emerged even wealthier and more powerful than before. So in 2008, not only did they get their own custom bailout, but they were able to buy up housing stock at absurdly low prices. The rich got richer than ever, inequality skyrocketed, and the big banks got bigger than ever. Same deal with the COVID era recession. So while, again, everyone suffered initially, there was a huge bailout package, which, yes, did benefit ordinary people. But if you look at who came out really on top after COVID, after all was said and done, you could see people like Elon Musk, people like Jeff Bezos, people like Mark Zuckerberg getting far wealthier. Their net worths, which were already very high, skyrocketed beyond anyone's wildest dreams. So are they thinking that another economic crash would once again inure to their benefit?
Yeah.
Here's the other piece that's worth thinking about as well.
Imagine if Joe Biden had an unelected immigrant going around claiming to make the government more efficient. The hogs would lose their mind. True. I saw this short on the Kyle Kulinski show. Her face. Kyle, by the way, has had a couple of good takes recently. It's been a minute since I've seen him. Her face looks long in this format. That's the not Twitter. The I can't. I'm blanking out. Not Twitter. What's the other one? The short form content that was being banned. It starts with a T. We can crash it before Trump if we do a bank run. I mean, I'm kind of game. I'm still calling it Twitter, and good on them for sticking it to Elon. They get sad when people call it that.
Crash and crisis leads to government.
TikTok, that's what it is. Okay, yeah, TikTok format. There we go.
And authoritarian leaders claiming more power for themselves. They can use the crisis and the emergency as a justification for taking on extraordinary powers and for taking extraordinary measures. Again, measures that can be custom fit to primarily benefit oligarchs like Elon Musk. What's more, in both cases, the economic crash in 2008 and the COVID crash both helped to facilitate the rise of fascist governments. So in 2016, obviously Trump 1.0, and now here we are back again, Trump 2.0.
I think, like, here's like the game, right? TikTok, yes. Here's the game. Because when the Nazis came into power in Germany, right? Like, they didn't cause that economic crash, right? So here's the game. They have to sell that because in this timeline, the fascists are the ones that caused the crash. right? Not like in the 1920s where they took advantage of a already pretty abysmal situation, economic situation. They took advantage of that and rose to power. In this case, they're the ones doing it, and now they have to kind of sell that as to why they should be in power. Why isn't Steve Bannon back in jail? Good question. When you call it Twitter, you're carrying water for Elon. Elon unalive Twitter. X is the corpse. Look at the X.
Obviously, that is an aim that Elon and Trump would both themselves support. So I don't know, guys. Well, we're running around here going, like, what are they thinking with these tariffs while they're slashing government spending? Don't they know that this is going to cause a massive contraction? Can't they see the stock market crashing? Can't they understand how this is going to be devastating for the economy? Maybe they do understand, and maybe that's kind of the point.
And that's a really scary thought, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
A crisis can easily be used as a justification to concentrate even more power. And
right, and like, but that's the thing though. Like, could they sell the crisis that they that they created themselves? Could they now sell that to be like, and this is why we need to be in power? That is yet to be seen. I don't know. But the cult seems to buy so far. Okay, most of the cult has bought the Kool-Aid. Okay, there have been some who are directly affected by this, who are kind of saying like, "Well, I never thought that they would eat my face," and are kind of stepping out of that cult. But overall, like the broad cult is still very much intact. We need I don't know if like they if they feeling these effects directly is going to break that. That is yet to be seen.
Restrict even more civil liberties. For example, in response to the anti-genocide protests on college campuses, Trump just announced that all federal funding will stop for any college, school, or university that allows illegal protests. These are not illegal protests, by the way. Agitators will be imprisoned or permanently sent back to the country from which they came. American students will be permanently expelled or, depending on the crime, arrested. No masks. Thank you for your attention to this matter. In other words, no free speech for people who oppose their tuition money or tax dollars supporting a foreign country doing a genocide.
Yeah.
That is just straight up unconstitutional.
Also, like, again, the problem that Trump has is people protesting genocide. Just saying. Everything crashes as soon as Trump takes office. Definitely Biden's fault. Or worst case scenario, Elon's fault. Yeah, I mean, like, if anything, like, if they'll make Elon the fall guy, then so be it. They don't care. I love these little emotes. I freaking love this emote, man. James knocked it out of the park with this one. I wish I would have thought about something like this.
But I take it that all of the free speech absolutists aren't going to have shit to say about that. But to be fair, Democratic governors were also pretty ruthless to these protesters, albeit to a lesser extent than what Trump is proposing. But I mean, just for a second, imagine a situation where the cost of living surges. Not hard to imagine, but if that happens, then poverty may spike. If the Social Security checks start to get delayed and people start to get really pissed off, that could trigger a response from the public where they take to the streets and protest. That right there could give Trump the opportunity to show a force of strength by crushing them, thus making him even more powerful. And I don't think it's unreasonable to consider that
well, I mean, like, yeah, but the inverse of that would be the more the tougher the response is going to be, the worse it's going to be for the government, right? The worse it's going to be for the authority. If the authority overreacts, it's going to give sympathy to the protesters, which is what we want. We need people on our side. We need people to look at this and be on our side, and build a critical mass so that they can't just stamp us out.
This is something that he wants, because it's not like they're oblivious to how unpopular these things that they're doing are. Tesla sales are down, their shares have dropped since Trump took office, and Elon Musk's approval rating is also tanking, so his toxicity is affecting his company's brands. So he wouldn't be doing all of these things that are unpopular if he didn't think there was a massive upside one day, like there was with COVID. But aside from Elon Musk, America's honeymoon with Donald Trump is also officially over, since his approval rating is now in the red. And it's probably only going to get worse from here, but it's starting to actually fall out from under him, as Harry Anton of CNN explains.
Predicts an overreaction.
The word here that I would use to describe Trump is awful. In fact, the only person who does worse than Trump does right now with a +1 net approval rating is himself back in 2017 when he was at -8. So he's doing better than he was.
I was going to say, you could spin it another way. He's making gains.
He's making gains, but he's doing worse than everybody else. The average president at this point, get this, +27 points.
That's actually phenomenal. The worst freaking like net approval ratings is Trump in 2017, followed by Trump now. Bro won first and second place of being garbage. Elon can take his shareholders. He has government money. Yep. But I wonder, like, if that's going to trigger, like, a response from shareholders. Because, like, doesn't Elon have, like, a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that he produces for the shareholders? Because if he's not, and the actions that he's taking is actively like tanking Tesla stock, like, couldn't they remove him? I'm just saying. CNN, the crap news network.
Points on their net approval rating. Donald Trump is doing historically awful. The only person he beats is, again, himself from term.
As he takes our government money.
Number one.
Yeah.
How about on the issue that, one, he says he was most elected to fix, and he said he would do it on day one, which would be the economy.
On the economy, well, he beat him.
Who's going to enforce it? Oh, yeah. I forgot. True. They should remove him. He's costing the shareholders millions. Yeah, but, like, he's got like the whole, like, government apparatus behind him, basically. So, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that. They should try to remove him. They should take him to court. It's just like a matter of, like, who's going to enforce it. What? The SEC?
Himself on overall, but on the economy, he can't even beat himself. Again, this is historically the worst going back in polling at this point in a presidency, the net approval rating on the economy. He's right now at -4 points. In term number one, he was at +8 points. Historically, the average is +15 points. He is doing nearly 20 points worse than the average president when it comes to the economy on net approval rating. He is historically doing awful, weak. And on the issue on which he was elected to, of course, fix, he is doing historically awful. This is not good. If this number holds, you can guarantee his overall approval rating will go down, and it could take his entire presidency with him.
Oh, I hope so, man. From your mouth to God's ears.
And this also now can change very quickly because of tariffs. I mean, you have a lot of mixed reaction coming in from especially amongst Republicans on what these tariffs are really going to mean. I mean,
I mean, like, anyone trying to muddying the waters about what tariffs do, okay, is doing a disservice. Like, I'm sorry. At this point, it is 2025, okay? You can look this up, okay? You can look up what a tariff is. You can look up the effects of tariffs on the economy. You can look at the same incident we talked about, the Tariff Act in 1929, I want to say, 1930. You can look all this up and see what the actual effects are of tariffs. There's only one objective answer, and that is that tariffs are inflationary. It's going to make things more expensive, okay? Not to mention, it's going to cause a trade war where the other country is going to retaliate. CNN, too bad y'all helped him get elected twice. The cultists don't care. They're lining up for the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
And these tariffs help the president?
I don't think they're going to help the president, at least in the near term. And the reason why is simply put, look at the opposition.
Well, like not just the near term, like the far term too, right? Like if you just freaking torpedo the economy, right? It's not going to do you any favors with the people. Right. The only thing that this benefits is rich people. That's why he's doing it. He doesn't care about the approval ratings. OK, he doesn't care about like if the American people want tariffs or not. OK, he's just serving capital. He's serving his own class interest. That's it.
Oppose tariffs on Canada. Look at this. You got nearly 2/3 of the country opposing it on Canada, 64%. How about on Mexico? Nearly 3/5 of the country at 59%. We're already dealing with a president who, what we're having is the economy bringing him down. These tariffs, in my mind, will only bring him down further. Again, historically awful on the economy at this point, and the tariffs, I think, will only lead to further deterioration.
Yeah. He's not concerned about re-election for one reason or another. Right. That's true. That's actually a good point. Because, like, either things work as they're supposed to and he is done with his second term, or he's not concerned about re-election because there will be no elections.
Yeah. So up until this point, he's enjoyed a net positive approval rating, but the more unpopular things that he does, the more that's going to continue to trend downward. But I just don't think that he actually cares. Like, Trump wants to be popular, but there are other things that he cares about more than popularity.
Like himself.
You know, he's not up for re-election, so he doesn't have to worry about this hurting his chances, assuming he doesn't want to run for re-election and violate the 22nd Amendment. But, like, if he makes out like a bandit and leaves the White House richer than ever, it's all going to be worthwhile to him in the end. It doesn't matter if the rest of the country hates him or suffers.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, he just literally skated. He just literally skated on 34 counts of fraud. Okay? He skated on 34 counts of fraud. So why not? Right? Like, literally 0 prison time. Nothing happened to him. Remember, kids, the moral of the story is don't be a greedy bastard. Vote for me and you'll never have to vote again.
Greatly
One
for the things
big,
that
beautiful
he's doing.
election and you will never have to vote again. Christians, vote for me and you will never have to vote for me again or vote again.
So long as him and his oligarch friends profit heavily off of all of these things, that's going to be worthwhile to him. So buckle up.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote. True.
Americans, because things are going to get really ugly fast. And if you know somebody that voted for this asshole, don't be shy. Go ahead and remind them that they imposed all of this chaos on the rest of us. See, they weren't afraid to blame Biden for literally every single fucking thing that went wrong in the country, even if it didn't make sense. So be sure to remind them that all of this unnecessary pain and suffering is being inflicted on all of us because of what they did.
Yep.
I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
Jesus freaking Christ, Mike. His base doesn't care. It'll always be where it is. He loses swing voters and poor rhinos. True. I think the leopards need to be eating more faces. Yeah, maybe when enough maybe when enough faces have been ate, then we can start breaking the cult. I'm already dying laughing, and then Mike does that. Make that a oh man. I still need to go back and get that Luigi one, because that Luigi freaking outro goes hard. Okay? That Luigi outro goes hard. All right, folks, we got a few headlines. I want to stream a movie on Saturday for sure. Go for it. Join the Discord, folks, if you want to hang out. Absolutely. There is a high chance that I will be there. I don't see why I wouldn't. So yeah, absolutely. No title picked yet. That's all good. I mean, it doesn't matter. And just if you find a movie you want to stream, just go for it. And go for it. And, you know, hey, like I said, it's pretty. It's the odds of me being able to be there is definitely above 60%. I would say the odds right now are probably around the 70 to 80%. So I don't really see why I shouldn't be able to join. So yeah, definitely you can throw up whatever movie. I'm down to just hang out and watch it. That'd be great. We'll give it a try. Sure, why not? No problem. All right, folks. We're gonna go through some of these headlines before we get out of here. Okay, so I think this one's probably we'll do this one first. The Supreme Court rules Trump administration must unfreeze foreign aid payments. So in a weird, bizarre move, the Supreme Court actually made the right decision. Wow. A sharply divided Supreme Court on Wednesday today ruled that the Trump administration must comply with a district court order and pay out nearly $2 billion in foreign assistance funds to nonprofit aid groups for work already completed on the government's behalf. Now here's a question. Now that the Supreme Court has ruled on this, right? Highest court in the land. That's it. You can't appeal this anymore. It's done. Will the Trump administration defy the Supreme Court? If you need to laugh, look at Mr. Newberger's AI Funnies. He's a political satirist who makes political satire in AI. Nice. They want to keep their power. The Supreme Court? Yeah, of course. But now we'll see if the Trump administration is going to is going to defy them, because that will be I think an escalation. DeSantis already said F him. It's already completed, so I think what the court did was to protect the U.S.'s credit rating. The court ruled 5-4 with Chief Justice Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett siding with liberal justices. The court did not elaborate on the decision, but said the district court judge should clarify what obligations the government must fulfill to ensure compliance with a temporary restraining order with due regard to the feasibility of any compliance timelines. The lower court is currently weighing whether or not to impose a longer preliminary injunction against the foreign aid freeze. Samuel Alito, in his dissent, saying he was stunned by the majority's decision. Whatever, dude. Like, Alito and Thomas are like the most corrupt out of the bunch. Does a single district court judge who likely lacks jurisdiction have the unchecked power to compel the government of the United States to pay out and probably lose forever $2 billion taxpayer dollars? The answer to that question should be an emphatic no, but the majority of this court thinks otherwise. Bro, these were appropriated funds, dude. Whatever. The Trump administration did not immediately comment on the ruling. The court's majority did not specify a deadline by which the administration needs to comply. The administrations initially tried to freeze the payments via an executive order before the U.S. District Judge Amir Ali ordered the payments to resume in a temporary restraining order issued 3 weeks ago. Last week, Ali, a Biden appointee, ruled that the administration violated the terms of a temporary restraining order and ordered the Trump administration to dole out delayed payments by 11:59 p.m. February 26. Lawyers from the Department of Justice acknowledge that the Trump administration ignored the temporary restraining order, which prohibited them from freezing foreign aid funds since the order was issued. Instead, they argued that they should not be required to pay back the money because of sovereign immunity. During an extended exchange with Ali, the DOJ lawyer struggled to answer basic questions about the administration's compliance with temporary restraining orders. Cool. Chief Justice Roberts ordered a stay before the deadline as the court heard the case. Foreign aid groups have been teetering on bankruptcy following Trump's decision to end aid and have been searching for answers. During a February 13 meeting with a representative from those organizations, Pete Morocco, the Trump administration official tasked with dismantling the U.S. AID, defended what he called a total zero-based review and arguing that some areas of foreign aid is required radical change. According to audio form, that meeting was obtained by ABC News. Might be worth a 2-minute watch. Funny stuff.
The union is strong, like the strongest it has ever been in the history of State of the Unions. We have tariffed United States enemies, Canada and Mexico, the scourges of North America. Like really the only good guys in North America are us, and soon to be the United State of Greenland. I have ordered my DOJ to go to the home of every...
The point is for them to go out of business. What the F House is a 90% budget decrease going to do. Yep. This was from Looney Tunes Suggestions. Gotcha.
person in the country who has ever spoken ill of me or did not express the proper level of enthusiasm for me, and to shoot them in the legs. I have ordered Elon Musk to fire every one of you and then to rehire you 10 minutes later.
Since he mentioned me, I get to talk now. I order everyone to email me their 5 favorite things about Trump's speech. Or, you will be fired immediately.
All babies born from this moment on will be named Donald Trump. And if they are not boys, we will put them in a basket and cast them down the closest river.
Fundamentally Broken. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome.
People keep suggesting that I am not president and that I am either a puppet to Putin or Elon is president. And the truth is that the Hawktua girl is president. And she's here now. Maybe I'll hire her.
I mean, why not? Right?
Liar!
I really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me?
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
It blew up. And of course, the press will debate whether...
Fantastic. As far as payment, one of the reasons why there have been problems with some payments is because despite the president's executive order, despite the secretary's guidance, we have still nefarious actors in the agency that were trying to push out hundreds of illegal payments. Sure. And we're able to seize control of that, stop them, and take control of some of those people and make sure that the money was not getting out the door. Morocco suggested that payments for organizations with existing contracts would resume the following weeks, but they have remained frozen. Yep. That's exactly how it went in my mind. For those of you that did see the address to Congress, I think one of the more notable moments was when Trump suggested that they will take control of Greenland one way or another. I mean, like, this is alarming, to say the least, to speak that way of an ally, right? And not to mention, not just like an ally, but like a member of NATO, right? Because, hey, last time I checked, if a NATO member gets attacked, then they all jump in, right? I didn't hear what Al Green said before he got removed. It's actually, I could barely, I didn't hear what he said, to be honest. Damn, it's aggressive. It reminds me of someone else in history. He was talking about Trump cutting Medicaid and Medicare. Gotcha. We seem pretty effed, and the only hope on the horizon is Mayo Pete, and he's been MIA for a while. Yeah. Oh, man. That guy's the real goat of the night. Seriously. Trump says the U.S. will take control of Greenland one way or another. President Mayo Pete is running for Senate in Michigan. What's the likelihood that he wins? President Trump said on Tuesday that the United States would take control of Greenland one way or another, escalating months of increasingly aggressive rhetoric towards the self-governing Danish territory. Addressing a joint session of Congress in Washington, Trump said he had a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. Quote, we strongly support your right to determine your own future, but, despite me saying that, it means you have to be under my control. Better than his chances of being president. Maybe a new NATO could operate without the U.S., but the U.S. is a majority of NATO by a lot. Yep. The EU honestly needs to step up. Trump also, we strongly support your right to determine your own future, and if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. He said about halfway through his 90-minute speech. Trump also pledged to Greenlanders that America would keep you safe, make you rich, and together we'll take Greenland to heights like you've never thought possible. But in between the warm wishes, he again made the case to the Americans that U.S. control of the ice-covered Arctic landmass was crucial to national security. It's EU toe. We support you doing whatever you want as long as it's exactly what we want you to do. Yep. Paquita's going to finish the news with us. And it's like he's a dog with a bone concerning Greenland. You want into America for $5 million? It can happen. You mean red, white, and blue land? Oh yeah, I forgot. This is Paquita the cat, by the way. She's there. Look at us, sweet baby. Don't be shy. She's like looking down. There you go. How are her brothers doing? Oh, they're chilling. How do you spell her name? I got you. Like that. Exactly like that. They gave Ukraine like 200 billion-ish, but it was on the condition that all arms come from U.S. military complex. How many people in the government made money on that? Yep. And well, she's going to finish the news with us here. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it for international world security, and I think we're going to get it one way or another. We're going to get it. So, yeah. It's a very small population, but a very large piece of land and with very important military security. A slightly menacing appeal to Greenlanders was unexpected, but it was hardly without precedent. Trump has been fixated on the strategic importance of glacier-covered island for years and has repeatedly suggested the U.S. should try to buy the autonomous territory. In January, his eldest son, Trump Jr., made this freaking PR stunt. So, yeah. Anyways. So, yeah, he threatened Greenland again, but more explicitly this time. I mean, like, he's basically saying, like, we're going to do this one way or another. Your island is a small population, so, you know, just saying. Burgers for dinner here because I'm an American. Ah. He has to go there himself in January. Trump thinks Cobra has a hidden base in Greenland under the command of Zartan and Major Blood. Yeah, he is. He thinks that he thinks that Greenland is like the key for strategic importance. The White House plans to expand mass layoffs to the IRS and Veterans Affairs. That's right. Make a vet your friend today, chat. Yep. Mass layoffs are being planned for 2 more vital U.S. Government agencies as the IRS and Veteran Affairs have emerged as the latest targets of the Trump administration's unprecedented purge through billionaire Elon Musk. Department of Government Efficiency, ? New reports suggest. The IRS is drafting plans to slash its 90,000 strong workforce by up to half through a mix of layoffs, attrition, and buyouts. Phenomenal. The federal, according to the AP, the federal tax collector has offices across the country, with women accounting more than 65% of the workforce, while people of color represent 56%. A reduction of force in tens of thousands of employees would render the IRS dysfunctional, which is kind of the point. Said Josh Koskinen, a former IRS commissioner, told the AP. About 7,000 probationary employees with 12 months or less of service were already laid off in February. In addition to the extraordinary planned cuts, the Trump administration reportedly intends to lend IRS workers to the Department of Homeland Security to assist with the crackdown of immigrants. So, like, they're just going to be turned into Gestapo. Cool. To be fair, every administration has been guilty of war crimes. Yeah, it's kind of... It kind of is. The U.S. has history in Greenland, too. They once built a secret compound underground. They abandoned it when they learned the permafrost shifted faster than estimated. Huh. The more you know. I didn't know that. Meanwhile, the Veterans Affairs Department is planning lay off as many as 83,000 workers by the end of 2025, according to an internal memo obtained by the government executive, a news outlet covering the executive branch. The leaked memo sent to senior staff on Tuesday said the VA would work with Musk Doge to slash its workforce to 2019 levels, which is before millions of veterans became eligible for care. The cuts will be sweeping and spare no parts of the department, wrote the VA Chief of Staff, Christopher Cyrick, in a memo. More than 1 in 4 VA employees are veterans themselves. Staffing at the VA rose substantially under the Biden administration in response to the 2022 PACT Act, which expanded healthcare and benefits to millions of veterans exposed to toxins from burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. The legislation, which was passed after years of campaigning by veterans and their families who struggled to receive care and support for injuries and illnesses linked to their military services. The planned cuts were an outright betrayal of veterans. Representative Mark Takano, the top Democrat on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, told the government executive. Well, I mean, yeah. Less VA services for my stepdad, a Vietnam combat veteran. What was Ronald John Trump doing during that war? I wonder. It's like the orange Elmer Fudd just can't stop himself from hunting wabbits one day. Yeah, he was nursing a sore bone spur. And as Michael Hasser pointed out, make a vet your friend today, chat, because this is directly impacting them. The latest layoffs is part of the Trump-Musk administration's plan to gut federal agencies that provide crucial and sometimes life-saving services to millions of people in the U.S. and overseas. USAID had largely been shuttered, leaving staff and their families stranded across the world and millions of people without food, medicine, and clean water. The mass firings and buyouts are unprecedented and legally dubious, and in some cases being challenged in court. The federal workforce, excluding the military personnel and postal workers, comprises about 2.4 million. People, of whom only 20% are in Washington, D.C. and the neighboring states of Maryland and Virginia. It is very sad. All I can say, folks, is buckle up, because this is about to get a lot worse. a lot worse. The phrase tightening the belts is going to be common. I wonder if a civil war is in the planning, or if it's shit goes down plan to distract the population that is mad about a Great Depression with no aid. I don't even know. That would be catastrophic. All right, folks, it's time for me to get out of here. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate you guys being here. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to all the new the new Twitch follows. I appreciate that. Thank you, Heat, for the biddies. Thank you, Cosmopolitics, for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Thank you to the YouTube crew for being here. Thank you, guys, and thank you for spreading the word. I appreciate it. B-Ree, thank you. No, thank you for being here. Can I get a shout-out, bud? I'm going to start streaming again. Yeah, of course. Can you shout out yourself, or does it have to be... I got you. Hold on. I don't actually know if you can... Folks... Consider going to our moderators channel Heat420_ and go show them some love, and go show Cosmopolitics some love too, and Ground Level News. There's a couple folks here, so please go show her support. Go show Cosmopolitics, who rated us earlier. Thank you, appreciate it, and thank you for bringing your wonderful community. If you enjoyed the content, folks, don't forget to hit the follow button. And okay, live bro, really trying to stream politics without wearing a suit? Ha! I'm wearing a cat, okay? Look, see? I'm wearing a cat. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you to the YouTube crew. I appreciate you guys being here. Keep doing what you're doing, folks. Spread the word. Like the stream. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If like a good handful of you subscribed today. Thank you. I appreciate that. Spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. As always, folks, if you want to support the channel directly, make sure you hit that exclamation mark merch, exclamation mark tip. I haven't even heard ADT say thank you to me. I appreciate you, and okay life. Thank you. Timothy Waterman. Welcome, welcome. I don't know if you were lurking, but in any case, thank you for being here. Thank you to all for being here. I appreciate you guys. You guys are what makes this channel go. As always, folks. Oh yeah, don't forget, join the Discord, folks. I'm just me. Thank you for the stream. Thank you. We are a crew. It's true. You don't have the cards. You don't have the... Oh, you guys. I just got here. Oh, well, it's okay. You can hang out with the... you can ride the raid wave. You can ride the raid wave. Thank you all for being here. Also, Timothy Waterman will be here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. I appreciate it. And only for the 50% of the channel's resources. You're halfway to over. You're over halfway to moderation. Yep. Maybe we can debate. Oh, I don't know if you want that. All right, folks, as always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Aviana, I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Oh, yeah, monetization. I need 500. Great job. Thank you. Appreciate it. 500. Yes, that's true. Keep it up, folks. We're more than halfway there. Literally living on a prayer. All right, folks, hang tight. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.